They're literally just overpriced stickers with an air bubble. But my wife and I have made it very clear that we wanted no part in X39, nor did we want our daughter to have it. Even if it's fake, we wanted no part in it, and on the off chance it did something, I didn't want our daughter to be used as their lab rat or guinea pig. Now, before we left our daughter with my in-laws, we provided them with some infant medication, just in case she got sick. You can never be too safe, you know? Well, we returned home from the work trip early because our daughter wasn't getting any better, so we picked her up and went home. We were going to give her a bath, and in the process of taking her jacket off, we found an X39 patch on her arm. Upon finding it, we immediately called her parents and demanded to know why she had a patch on her. Her parents tried saying, "It's safe for babies." We even ordered the ones for ages 7 and younger. But that didn't answer our question, so my wife checked the supply bag we gave them, and the Motrin we gave them was used, but not used very much at all. Her parents tried claiming that someone else in their group or whatever gave it to their son, and they got better in a week. The point is, we didn't buy it, nor did we care. We've made it abundantly clear that we wanted nothing to do with X39, and we didn't want our daughter to be a part of it, and they failed to listen. My wife was on the phone with them for over an hour, and while I don't know the exact length the conversation went to, I know it at least ended with her screaming, "You are not going to see my daughter ever again, and if you attempt to come to my house we will call the police," before hanging up. That was 3 days ago now, and we've had several missed calls from family members, her parents, her siblings, and even family friends, all saying that we overreacted and they were just trying to help. Maybe we overreacted, but we wanted nothing to do with that, and despite making it clear, they went against our wishes and did it anyway. Instead of giving my daughter actual medication, they tried to give her some placebo patch. Her parents tried claiming that we're stopping them from seeing their only grandchild over something so small, but we didn't want to hear it. Are we overreacting to what her parents did? Update 1. There's been some development on the stuff that happened last month, and while I'm confident things will likely end here, I wanted to give a quick update for those who may have been curious. After my wife essentially cut ties with them and we all received a million phone calls and text messages from family and friends, things quieted down for about a week or two. We started having my sister watch our daughter instead when we had to work. We haven't had another out-of-town trip since the initial post, however. Through those couple of weeks, we never really heard anything beyond a couple of supposed crap-talking posts on Facebook, bad-mouthing us, but I can't seem to find the posts. We thought things were hopefully going to end there, but boy were we wrong. My wife and I were visited by CPS about 2 weeks ago or so, after they received concerning calls about supposed child abuse and negligence within the household. Of course, nothing like that happened, and the caseworker was very quick to see that. We had asked who reported her, and while she couldn't say, we had a suspicion it was from her parents. We were completely helpful and cooperative with the caseworker, and after she left that night, my wife called her mom up and asked her if she was the one who called CPS. Surprisingly, her mother took full accountability, but not so surprisingly tried to spin it around in her favor, claiming that she did it for our own good because our daughter was sick and she wasn't getting any better when she was there, so clearly we were doing something awful as parents. My wife didn't really know how to react to that, so she basically told her mom to go F herself, and she wants nothing to do with her again. I know I saw a few comments on the last post saying maybe we shouldn't have cut them out entirely, but now I'm starting to question why we didn't cut them out years ago, before our daughter was even a thought in our heads. About a week after the first audit, my mother-in-law showed up at our house on my day off while my wife was at work and essentially demanded to see our daughter, forcing her way into our home by pushing past my arm. When I told her to get the hell out of my house because she had no business marching in here like that, she essentially told me that I'm unfit to be a parent because I'm depriving my daughter of help she desperately needed because she's clearly a very sick child. My daughter is perfectly healthy right now, and in fact, has had no stuffy nose and no high temperature, nothing. I told my mother-in-law straight up that she was backcrap levels of insane. I went off on her about how she lied to us, went against our wishes, had the audacity to call and lie to CPS, and then show up at our house unannounced and uninvited, and march herself inside, as well as everything about her X39/LifeWave BS. We argued there for a while before I finally got so fed up, I told her to leave my house before I call the police. She stormed out of the house, and in true Karen fashion, said this isn't over, before slamming my door. I immediately called my wife, who, of course, was irate. The following morning, we filed a restraining order at the courthouse against her mom and dad because they're clearly not in their right mindset. The caseworker had to audit us a few more times as per their guidelines over the past 2 weeks, and yesterday was her last day where she informed us that we're doing well and she's sorry for the trouble they caused. We kept her up to speed on the LifeWave situation, the showing up unannounced, and the restraining order, and though she couldn't really take a side, she seemed apologetic. But my wife and I are pretty livid. We started looking at houses in another state to get as far away from her in-laws as possible. Our company has offices out there, so it's entirely possible we could just be transferred. We're crossing our fingers that all goes well, the restraining order gets filed soon enough, and we'll get a place clear across the country.